Hey, we're dropping frames, so I'm gonna stop the stream. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna stop the stream just for a moment, and we're gonna put it back on, okay? Give me a heart if you heard me. Thank you. All right. Okay, I think we're back. Turn this music down. Okay, what is up, everybody? It is close enough to 10 o'clock that we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so today we are going to be playing some Pokemon Radical Red. Just kidding. That's what I've been doing in my free time. I am going to give you guys a little bit of a treat, and we're going to go over the deck that we're going to be playing today. Whoa, they changed this. Whoa, that's cool. How about that? All right, we're going to create a deck. We're just going to go ahead and make it ourselves. We're going to call this Aura Bravo. I thought about playing Betsy on stream, but it's kind of like boring, to be honest, because the only one that has done well is Naib's Fatigue list that he played at the Battle Hard, which, you know, Naib, great player. Also, deck, probably very good at what it wants to do, because everybody thinks that Betsy is going to be aggressive, they board in a certain way, then he fatigues everybody, right? So, but if I'm playing Fatigue on stream for 2 hours, like, people are probably going to get a little bored of that, and then a lot of times, if you're on Talishar, people will just leave anyway if they see it's Betsy, because they're like, oh, it's not a real deck. Whereas Bravo is a little bit more real, right? So, let's get in and do the obvious things. We're going to play some Anathos, we're going to play Civic Steps, we're going to play, probably not that. Some Gauntlets. I'm okay with doing this. We'll put it in there as a placeholder if you guys feel like we should give some love to the Crater Fist. I kind of want to. We might not play this. Anyway, so we could do Buckler and Fist. We're definitely going to do Tech Plating because of the style list that we are going to be building today. It's going to be Auras, okay? Let's go ahead and get the placeholder equipment going here. Okay, so we're past the equipment. Let's get the obvious things out of the way. Aura. We are playing Aura Bravo, so therefore we need Auras. We're going to play the red Auras. What are the best red Auras? There's some new ones that came out with the Tellurian Community College decks here, and I think they were reprinted in another set. It is escaping me, but Crash Down, that's the other one. So these both cost 3. Where'd it go? Both cost 3. Block 3, that's important. We love block 3s as a Guardian. But at the start of your turn, destroy this. Next Guardian attack. Action, you play this turn. Cost 1 less, also important. But gets +5, okay? This one is the same, except for the cost reduction, you're trading for +1 damage. So we're going to play all of these. I don't see a use to playing something like Embolden. Super cool card, but it costs 4, which is kind of like, can't 2-card play it and set up a pivot turn. So I'm not huge on this. The draw card ability is really, really cool. I'm a big fan of Blessing of Deliverance, but in a deck like this, if we draw too many auras, what are we going to be doing, right? Music is still too loud. You guys should have told me. Let me turn that down. Hop Crater each game. I think that's what I want to do, right? So we will, I think we're just going to be Crater Fist gamers today, right? Okay, so we got our auras. I don't think we want many more. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I know it doesn't seem like very aura-centric, right? But there are some blue auras that we're going to be playing, like Showtime. That one is guaranteed going to make the list. Also costs 3, also blocks 3. Go get your thing that you want. Really, really strong. And because we're playing auras, we get to use the really cool Imposing Visage package, right? So this is probably one of my favorite arts in the game, especially the foil. If you haven't seen one of these foil, oh my god, they're amazing. Amazing. So I've always been a big fan of this card. I've gone down to 1 or 2 in recent in the recent months playing Bravo, playing the Tunic version, because you don't need it as much. And this was more so like you're able to get your Pulverize out, which, speaking of Pulverize, let's go ahead and get that bad boy in here. We will play not this many, but probably 1, maybe 2. So I'm just having this as a placeholder. Let's put a couple of those there. Okay. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes of the deck. So, big thing that we want with this. Let's look at some of these attacks. We could be a concuss gamer. Ain't seen Crater Fist in a while. We're going to see it today. So, concuss, pretty good attack. It's better in Starvo than it is in Bravo. But we're playing a bunch of these auras. This could be something that we can play in contention. But until then, let's get the obvious things out of the way. We're going to get Debilitates, because this is the most generic thing that we can benefit off of an Earthlore Empowerment or a Surge. So we definitely want to do those. We do want some number of Choke Slam, I believe, as well. This is more so a sideboard card in recent memory. But then this is the other card that I really, really enjoy as well. Colossal Bearing, if you haven't read this, is if it has 13 or more power, it gets, when this hits a hero, destroy an equipment they control with 1 or less. Okay, so this is a very good tech card against Mechanologists, if you're worried about Mechanologist at all. And Mechanologist is getting a little more popular. I've seen some Techlos kind of ring their head around and say, hey, you know, I exist, I'm a thing. Don't forget about me. So, let's put some of these in the sideboard just in case we decide that we want to do that. And we'll reconfigure further in a moment. Lay Down the Law, also a very good card, but we don't want 3 for 7s. We want to benefit off of the tower ability, and we only have 1 aura that gives us a +6. So we want to be able to build around our least pump in this deck, right? So to do that, we're going to play at least 8s in general. Let's see. What else do we have here? Spinal Crush, obviously, a staple. Gotta have spinals. Smack of Reality is the other tower card. If this has 13 or more power, it gets, when this hits a hero, destroy all aura tokens they control. Keyword is tokens, okay? So, not amazing against Prism. It's okay if they're playing a bunch of Spectral Shields. You can, well, not even then, right? Because they'll just reduce the damage off the Spectral Shield. So it's actually just not that great. It's really, really, really shines against the Rune Blades that are stacking the Rune Chance. So if you can dominate this for 13 against a Viserai who's trying to OTK you, bro, it's over. It's over for them. They're big dead. This deck is super good in the Viserai, like OTK Viserai, I would have to think. I haven't played it myself, but the fact that they just want to dirtle around and play a bunch of D-reacts and stop what you're doing, you throw an Earthlore, and they're just like, oh crap. Well, I got all these D-reacts in my hand, I can't really do anything. And then you slam one of those, and it's just like, boom, they're dead. Wage Pumps are 2 block, which feels bad. Yes, we are going to try to stay away from 2 blocks as much as possible, because of the obvious reasons that we are a Guardian deck and we need to block 3 because our deck is slow. So, here's the other thing. Do we want to go Towering Titan? Can't Imposing Visage this, but it's really cool. The answer is no. We're not going to do this. It's only good turn 1 if you have 3 blues, which we are going to be likely a 36 blue deck to be able to play all of these 2-card hands. We want to be more consistent. Or 3-card hands, I should say. So it's going to be 2 blues and one of these attacks. So we're going to kind of stay away from that for now. Might look back at it. But the other things, so I always get this art somewhat confused with Starstruck because it's Bravo and he has his hand out. That is not Starstruck. It is far from it. Alright, next, let's go with... Where is it? Where is Starstruck? Did I go past it? Star, there it is. Obviously a staple. This is Time Walk against a lot of decks. Alright, and then the easy part of Guardian, one of the best things about playing this class is you just get to pick all the things that cost 6 and put them in, or attack for 6 and put them in your deck. Just like that. Look at that. Oh, that's an 8. That's even better. Another 6. Don't mind if I do. A 7. Ooh. We like those. Macho Grande, the mistake card. Yes. We love mistakes when they benefit ourselves. Tear Asunder. Tear Asunder, fantastic card. Obviously has been a staple in Bravo for a long time, especially with Amethyst. We can put this, not in the maybe board, in the sideboard. Because I think we might want to play that. Obviously some Thunderquakes and obviously some Thuns. So, I'm going to make our good matchups good, right? So we have 33. What could the other 3 be? What could it be? Well, if you are a Guardian connoisseur like myself, you know it's Rousing Ancients. And this is going to be a sideboard card. Now, the other thing that we can do is, if we are playing only Titan's Fist, which I can see an argument for, then you can take out Tear Asunder, and then we might want to play Reinforce the Line because of all the, not Reinforce the Line, what's the other card? Hold the Line. Hold the Line. Because Brute be hard for Guardian. So maybe we can just kind of outvalue them if we're playing Reinforce the Line. So this is going to be in the maybe for now. We'll talk about that. Okay, so why Crater Fist? Because I like Crater Fist. And if you're playing a bunch of tower cards, maybe that extra push is what you need. So we're playing these 4s, right? And we're also playing the Chokeslams and the Colossal Bearings. If you have a Surge, it's really easy to just go like, oh, I have this extra blue. I can play 3 card. In this case would be, let's say best case scenario. It's going to be 14, 16 for a Debilitate. Even better with the Colossal Bearing to blow up something, one of the equipment pieces that they have, right? Well, with 1 or less. That is an important keyword, though. It's 1 or less. So against Teklo, if they have 2 counters on their equipment, it doesn't really do anything. But it's pretty good against like Max and stuff like that, too. It's also good against like random decks who really want to capitalize off their equipment. You play this against something with a Valiant Dynamo, and they weren't able to reset their token. Then you can just blow up the Dynamo if you do it a little bit earlier. Honestly, I think Earthlore Empowerment is kind of good. I also think Earthlore Empowerment is kind of good. I think it's a very good card, actually. The issue is, with this style of deck, you're going to have some lull times. So in previous metas, where everything was so fast, you couldn't take the time to just dirtle, right? But I think we're approaching, at least in this like intermediate meta before the new set comes out, we're in the dirtle land where we're allowed to dirtle, right? So being able to take a turn off, you arsenal one of these, you block out, you keep a blue. Instead of hammering, you play an Earthlore. All they do is send back like 10, maybe. It's like, okay, cool. I'm going to keep 2 cards from my hand, take like 4 damage, and then I'm going to hit you back with 13. And that's a good turn cycle. So obviously we want balance, and we are going to want Crown of Providence as our mainstay hat. So this is our general equipment. Let's go ahead and get some Null Rune in here just to be extra super duper safe. We're going to do all 3 of these, put it in the inventory. Because we play against a Kano, we're probably going to lose anyway, but we might as well try. Might as well try. The other thing that could be very important is time skippers, okay? We're playing a lot of 4s, and we're playing Tectonic Plating, so we do have the ability to kind of capitalize off of those time skippers potentially against an ALS loop. And if we're playing a bunch of AB, then we can play Null Rune Gloves, time skippers, and then have more block in our equipment, right? Okay, so now, of course, we need Command & Conquer. Command & Conquer is a mainstay. And all these Guardian decks is especially good with Tectonic Plating. You have this card and a blue in your hand, you get to make a Surge, and then play Command & Conquer. Next turn, you can play Debilitate, or Chokeslam, depending on the matchup, right? So how many cards we have? We have 36 out of 80. We need some form of defense, so we're going to grab Sink Belows, put those in the sideboard. Okay, so this is kind of our main board structure here. We might adjust some of these blues, since we have a bunch of blues in the sideboard, potentially some Hold the Lines. This Titan's Fist and Buckler might see a cut. Zealous for Prism, that is also possible, but we're starting to run out of room. As you can see, we're at 81 out of 80. Now, I don't want to rip off people's list entirely. I kind of wanted to just go through the thought process of building a deck like this. But we'll cross compare very quickly. I'll go to Discord and see a list that I saw. This is from a user named Clads, if I remember correctly. Let me see if I can find his list. I apologize. Aura, bravo. I think it was under this CC general gameplay. Oh. Swear. I had it just a second ago. Okay, from... Glads, I wish you were here. Help me. Help me out. Let's see. I think actually it was tournament results, I believe. Jeez. Well, I know Kale McCreath, he also posted a list that he's going to be playing. Let's see. You got to go to Twitter on a separate tab. So Kel's list, the reason I was bringing up the not playing Amethyst at all is he posted a picture, and let me move this over to the screen so you guys can kind of see that. So here, we're going to move this over here. Okay, so this is Kel's list that he was playing, or he is considering playing at his ProQuest. He says today, this was at 5:34 yesterday. So that would have been at the active time. You know, he's in New Zealand and whatnot. Oh, you added the list on me? Thank you, I appreciate it. So his list, kind of similar structure, right? You have your Crash Downs and your Earthor Empowerments. Those are the important cards. He has some immovables, so he's playing a little bit more defensive. He's always been that way, so nothing against that. I just think having more D-Reacts can be a hindrance if they are not blues. The blues are fine because they help cast your stuff, right? So, and then the buckle, you know, buckle one of these like Colossal Bearings or the Smack of Reality. I think he's playing for what we were talking about, the Viscerai list and whatnot. All right, let me pull up this list. CC deck list. Oh, there it is. All right, wonderful. I appreciate it. And here's the other one. This is Clad's list. So, he got a ProQuest win with this, so debilitates. And this is the one that I was kind of taking inspiration from. So you have Buckle, Terra Sunder, Tokeslam, all that good stuff. So he's not playing Thunk, but we are playing Hold the Line, Crush the Weak for your ninja matchups. Your Colossal Bearings is your tech card, Tokeslam, Smashing Good Time, and then a Spellfray Cloak to be able to have that little extra edge against Kano, right? All right, I'm going to do a sound check real quick. Is the music overbearing? I want it to just be background noise. I want you'd be able to hear it, but not too much, right? So this list, the difference is Hold the Line is in the sideboard for your brute matchups. I do think this card is actually a little bit better than the movables, just because like it is a card that you swap in and out for different matchups. He also has like pretty much everything here, so I'm sure he probably wouldn't mind having this shared. And I'm sure there's some matchups and some results that people have been playing it and whatnot. But we can, honestly, I kind of want to just try this if you guys are cool with that. Who can you ask about the Bravo Discord? Zorby? You are more than welcome to post a link to the Bravo Discord. Now, it's kind of quiet because Bravo hasn't been represented as well as I believe he should have been, but it's still a good resource. There's a lot of good people in there, a lot of people you can bounce ideas off of. A lot of innovation too. Like, this is an innovative style list. I know it's like not anything crazy because you're playing all these staples, because Guardian is like, or Bravo specifically, is almost solved, right? But you still get to see some pretty interesting things. All right, so looking back, let's look at the differences between these two. So Macho, Thunder, Cranial, Thunk, Buckling, Choke, Debilitate. So he's playing a lot more blues. He's playing these, Tear Asunder. He's only playing one buckle. He's playing the Immovables. He's playing the Rouse the Ancients and the sides. So no Zealous Belting has been pretty popular in these styles of lists because it doesn't benefit off of your auras, right? So that kind of makes sense. It's like it's not really synergistic. So I think we're gonna stay away from playing Zealous Belting in any of these extra go-agains. I think Rouse the Ancients is obviously a very powerful card, so we're gonna keep that. Let's see, you were stubborn enough to bring Bravo to PT. I want to see if we can make him still work. I think you can. I think Bravo is fantastic. Again, not as represented as he used to be, but still very good. So, what do you guys think? Let's do a poll. So use these wonderful polls. Which deck to play? Okay, so we got Clads. We got Kales. And then we'll say the Ed mix. All right, let's start this poll. And you guys tell me what you guys would like to see. Because if we want to add some like just funsy cards, we can do that. I think Kel is on, he's on Crater Fist as well, so he's kind of like on the Crater Fist train, right? He likes the Crater Fist. He's also using arguably the best map to play Guardian on. So I can respect that. I love this art. This is probably my favorite art in the game. That Pulverize Starstruck is a really good art, especially in foil. But I'm not big on these D-Reacts. That is my only thing here. These Vapor Scenes, just not big. Not big on them, because what happens when you like play your aura and you're playing against a warrior and then you draw a bunch of D-Reacts and you're like, well, I like these D-Reacts, but now I can't play my thing and I just wasted my card, right? So, not that it's bad. It's just, I think what Kale is likely trying to do is if he's playing against a deck like that, of course, if his hand plays towards like playing an aura, he will. But I think he's more likely to block it and then play them a little bit later in a slower matchup when he's exhausted some of these D-Reacts. Okay, so we want to play the Ed mix, it looks like. How many votes do we have total? 70% on that. There's a few. Alright. Let's see. Let's go ahead and end the poll. So we'll do the Ed mix. Okay. So we have this Aura Bravo. We have all those. I think one Pulverize is probably where I want to be. Unless you guys want to see a couple more. I think it's good to have two of these. Like Clads was playing. And then two of these is probably fine as is. I think Hold the Line is still a very, very exceptional card. So we have that in the maybe board. Put that in the side. Now we have some extra blues. So if we put all these blues in, we're going to have 39 blues, which is a little much, right? So we had 36. I guess Clads was playing 36 as well, but he was playing Buckle, not playing Thunks. Or not Thunks. Yeah, not playing Thunks for the Buckles. So, what do we think? What do we think? Want to do... How do we adjust these? I think it's probably fine. Like, we definitely want all of these imposings and these showtimes. I think we could probably knock out one of these. Just have a one-of fun of Buckle. It's not like we're clashing or anything. There's no, like, real downside to playing that. Okay, so these are our sideboard cards. I'm going to go inventory here, and let's talk about how we would board with this, depending on each matchup. Okay, so standard matchup, we have Pulverize. Let's say we're playing against Brute. Okay, I want Sink Belows, I want Hold the Lines, I want Chokeslam. Okay, now we're at 63. What cards do we take out in this situation? Let's cross-reference what Clads was doing. So he was taking out Colossal, Crush the Weak, Smashing Good Time, Rouse the Ancients. So still playing these. The Buckles, Crash Downs, Earth Lore. What's the difference here? Oh, there's no CNC in this list. That's the difference. Believe it or not. I guess your CNCs kind of do suck with these, huh? So there's no CNC in these lists either. The more you know. So the staple is no longer a staple, and we're not playing Pummel, if you didn't notice, so the value of this card is actually pretty low. It's only good in the decks that are trying to maintain a combo or something like that. So let's take these out. I think that is a fair exclusion in this situation. Okay, so Smashing Good Time has been kind of the sideboard plan because we don't have all these go-agains. The way you beat Dash and the Mechnologist is by having a bunch of go-again. Well, we don't have a bunch of go-again. So let's have some cards that kind of target the matchup. I like that. I think that's great. Okay, so now you either don't play Time Skippers and have a couple more extra sideboard cards. You have Steel Braid. You either play Steel Braid or you don't. That's kind of where I'm at. If you're playing Buckles and Terra Sunders, you can still play them on your attacks, obviously, but they're still very good with Anothos. I think I'm going to keep Anothos just as it is. We have a bunch of armor already. We might not need this Titan's Fist. And then, I mean, at this point, we're kind of just playing Cloud's list, right? Just a little variation here. I think Crush the Weak is a really good tech card as well. I've always really liked this card, especially if we're going to be playing against a bunch of Katsus and whatnot. Katsu has been pretty popular. Fi has started seeing a resurgence as well. And then this card is kind of like okay against Bolton, which is kind of funny, especially if they're on rating. You can play this and like they need a card to start their combo, and every single one of their cards that charges that they want to start their combo with that costs 0 they attack for 3. So you can delay a combo in a way with this card. So I think this is good. And then the only other card that we have here would be if we want to keep the fists and the buckler, we can cut the Time Skippers, or we can add that Spell Fray. I do kind of like that. Or we can add another one of these Choke Slams. Let's see what Choke Slam looks like as a 3 of here. So we're not at a consistent, we're at 61. We would have to find a card to cut. I don't think it should be Pulverized, but it could be in a Brute style matchup, which is what we're kind of configuring for, because that's kind of the most popular deck. So we go back to inventory. You know, people work on their decks a lot, and they come to their conclusions on the number of cards for a reason. So I do like this Spell Fray. I think Spell Fray Cloak is honestly not crazy. So put this in the maybe. Let's do a couple of configurations. Okay. So let's put the sideboard cards in the sideboard as we should. We'll put Hold the Line in the sideboard. This is your stock list. Okay, this is what we're going to be playing in general. These are the cards that we side in and out depending on the situation. So let's do Brute. And they're all going to be the same because we have one hammer. So the only difference is we're playing Balance of Justice because that's a 5 mana or a 5 value card by itself. Then we want D-Reacts, we want Chokeslam because it has relevant text, and we want Hold the Line because this is a block 5 in a lot of situations. And if it's not a block 5, it's a blue. It's pretty good. Okay, I see a question about Warmongers. Warmongers is a pretty good card. Let's look at Azalea though and see if we would potentially need that. Right, so we're going to keep this pretty standard stuff. Chokeslam is a house against Azalea. Then Sink Below is also very strong. Now we have 3 cards to bring in. Now it's probably just Hold the Line. They don't necessarily draw 2 cards a turn. They can. It's not super common. I guess if they Is there a way? I don't think there is a way. I think the only way they do it is Death Dealer. And I don't think there's other cards that just inherently draw. So this card is like pretty mid in general. Let's see what Clouds did. Cross-reference. So it looks like Hold the Line is not in. Chokeslam, Pulverize, Debilitate. What's the difference here? Colossal Bearing? No. Oh, it's just Rousey Engines. So I'm playing Rousey Engines instead. So if your 2-block does nothing versus your 2-block does something, I guess that's technically a little bit better. Right. For Arsenal block, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I think that's probably fine. Yeah, like, you can have this for your Arsenal just to be able to, like, kind of cover up something. It's just one little bit, but, like, it literally does nothing, right, in the matchup if they're not drawing more than 2 cards. But Warmongers could be a card if we wanted to cut this and add, if we saw that we were having some issues against against Azalea specifically, which is very popular right now, that maybe that is worth it. Okay. So maybe we don't necessarily need all of these poppers as much. So if we cut the blues and go Warmongers, I'm kind of into that. You just have that in the deck that's kind of stock. We don't really take this out. It doesn't work towards your Anathos, which is a downside. I'm not super keen on that, but neither does Hold the Line in the first place. Now let's look at our popper count in general. Let's make a Prism button here. Okay, so Prism button. We want popper. Rousey Engines, obviously very good. Popper. We're at 61. This is kind of a liability in a lot of cases. Cross-reference. So against Prism. Taking out no Chokeslam, smashing, Hold the Line. Okay, Chokeslam, Crush, Hold the Line. So they're playing Sink Below in addition to that. I can see an argument for Sink Below. I actually do think it's fine. Into Prism specifically, because they get a lot of the auras. You have to play this like kind of aura control plan. It's not like it used to be, right? Rouse is great versus Fatigue Shot. You're right. That alone kind of makes me want to keep Rouse for Azalea. So if we were to just follow along what they are doing, we want this, we want the gloves, we want to take out Steps and Fist, because we don't need those. And then we don't need Crush the Weak, because the on-hit actually doesn't do anything. And then the other cards are Chokeslam. So I can see a configuration where you keep these two just because they're actual playable cards. This is better with Time Skippers in the first place as well, which could be enough reason to want to play this, right? So this is one configuration that I do not hate, but sometimes you just kind of need to kill them, right? So I don't think there's really any downside to playing this card, especially if you go first, because the turn cycle. What's up, Emery? But the turn cycle, if you're going first, is you're going to pass priority anyway, because if they drop an aura, you want to be able to take advantage and kill that. So you can just make a surge and pass. And then, because of the heave text, they can't respond to you heaving. So the following turn, they're going to play whatever they play. You pop with a couple of cards, and then you send back the 14, which is humongous against Prism, because they start at 32, right? So the only thing that I'm not like super crazy about, this doesn't have text really at all. So if you wanted to play in some configuration where it wasn't the Sink Belows, which are actually kind of dead in a lot of situations, but also good in different situations for hand fixing and whatnot, I don't hate it. Having a Sink Below against a... They play the gloves. Gosh, what are those called? The gloves that, like, take away the Phantasm. I always forget. It's not Waves of Reality. That's the one that makes the spectral shields. But if they do that and they play an Erudition and they have a pump, like having the sink below to blow that out is really, really strong. So we could try both. Just be happy there. I think he's playing this. Again, this doesn't really have text. So I think I'm more happy with maybe even keeping this card for the time skippers. As weird as that sounds, it's still a popper most of the time, right? What is this Aura Bravo we are cooking here? It's amazing. It's an amazing set. Dreamweaver, that's it. That's it. You got it, Jonathan. But yeah, they Dreamweaver, then they play an Erudition. You're just like, well, that sucks for me, right? Okay, let's look at Warrior real quick, and we'll just bundle all the Warriors. We'll call it not Bolton, I guess, because Bolton is the weird one that you kind of have to like board differently for. So against the Warriors, obviously we want some D-Reacts, and obviously we want some Rousey Engines, and obviously we want some Colossal Bearings, and that's it. That's like super simple, right? Just play your cards, and there it is. Okay, against Bolton, since we're on the topic, we have all these non-attacks that are really good against Bolton. So their rating is just like, oh, okay, you know, block with this Earth Lore, haha, I got him. So I think you still want Sink Below. You want Choke Slam against Bolton, and then they don't really draw a bunch of cards here. So we don't really want this card as much. It is better than Rousey Ancients because it blocks a little bit better if it comes down to that situation. And then we talked about Chokeslam being pretty good. This card is quite strong. Actually, this card is really good if they're playing like the more standard Bolton nowadays that are playing like the Saber Hot Streak plus the Valiant Dynamo. This can blow up the Valiant Dynamo. There's a lot of considerations to this matchup, actually, that you can kind of go back and forth on. Crush the Weak is probably the weakest in this situation. That, or if you think they're on combo, these Sink Belows are pretty bad. Let's see. Colossal Bearing. Not playing Chokeslam or Crush the Weak. Okay. So I guess we want the extra blues. Generally, you want to be a 36 blue deck. Colossal Bearing, I think that's good. I think Colossal Bearing is good. Yeah. Chokeslam is quite strong too, but if they're doing combo, it doesn't do anything, so I'm more inclined to cut this. Crush the Weak, again, this is okay. We want Rousey Ancients if they're on combo for your Anathos. Yeah. Is there no stream for Battle Hardened Richmond? I am not sure. I haven't heard. I feel like I would have seen some news about streaming Battle Hardened Richmond if there was going to be a stream. Okay. What are the other matchups that we are missing out of the current meta? I guess Kano. We can talk about Kano since we have some tech against Kano. So let's take out all that pretty stuff and bring in all this ugly stuff that we have to play because we're playing Kano. I think in general you just want all your blues since we're playing this AV3. That's probably where you want to be. And then Smashing Good Time, funny enough, is like not the worst. Because you can play all of these. This gives them a window of opportunity to like basically do nothing. Like they send back. That's probably not where I want to be. I guess we're playing it though. One or less. This is good. Oh yeah, Colossal Bearing is good. Oh, hold on. Okay, this card keeps getting better and better to look at it. The more I look at it. Storing equipment they control. Because if it's 13, they can't block it in the oh my god. Oh, it's insane. It's insane. Okay, so we're not playing Hold the Line. That's the difference. We're playing the 36. So this is my Boomer Bravo brain thinking. Like, this literally does nothing. It is a blue, though, so blues are good. Are we playing? We are playing Smashing Good Time. Okay, we're on the same page. Pulverize is actually bad. Yeah, that's fair. You're never playing that because they can just blow you up. That's not fun. And then Chokeslam is Big Numby, so we might as well do that, right? Yeah, okay. There it is. Savage Feet isn't there this weekend. I'm not sure if anything else is streaming. Well, I'm sorry to hear about the Battle Hardened, but at least you get to enjoy some time with me brewing some stuff with the help of community members. Okay. So I think we could probably just like figure out the rest. What are the other decks? Let's see. Oh, the mirror. We got to talk about the mirror, right? We'll do Guardian. All right, so this should be kind of self-explanatory, right? We want these cards and then Chokeslam. Colossal Bearing is honestly not the worst card, but this card sucks, this card sucks, this card sucks. So it's like you're either cutting... Yeah, I don't want to cut anything. Because a good Guardian is not going to block with their equipment early to where you get value off of this. Alright. Validate me. I am validated. I know a thing or two about Guardian. Okay. Then, talk about all this. We can talk about Ninja. That's another popular one, of course. Gotta have the ninjas. Cards that we bring in for Ninja here. Oops. Well, honestly, we could bring that. I think this is pretty good against most ninjas. Chokeslam, Sink Below, Hold the Line, not terrible. These cards are all very good. If we want to be a 33 card deck, I don't hate that. Ninja. Katsu. Just Ninja in general. Okay, 34. So kind of on the same page here. 60, Crush the Weak, Hold the Line, no Rousey Ancients, makes sense. So keeping all of these, adding that. Is that right? Okay, yeah. So I was at 59, so yep, that's it. We were there. Okay, and then lastly, we'll look at the other few. Yeah, we might as well put Runeblade and Azuri in. I think those are the other ones that we will likely see. Or we can make variations too. So Azuri, we like the defense reactions. We also like Rousey Agents. And then Colossal Bearing isn't amazing against their stuff because they don't really... Maybe Crush the Weak is fine. Funny enough, because like if they're sending their Dominate card and then doing a flip, if that's their plan, if you play Crush the Weak, they actually have to give you some cards. And if it ever does crush, they can't do that. They just have to play the card at face value. Right. So there's no surprises, which is always very good. So let's see. Crush the Weak. For that reason. Okay. Nice. So I think that is... I agree with that completely. We'll do Runeblade just in a bundle. So against Runeblade, they're not really drawing a ton of cards, right? Like all the cards that they do that are card advantage, like Sonata, if they're playing Viserai. Like the mid-range style of Viserai, those add the cards to your hand, they don't actually draw. The only card that could draw is Tome of the Arknight, which, if they're doing that, then like, wow, okay, you got me. So, we're going to do Norn Boots, keep the rest of this. Sink Below is very good against both of the Runeblades. If it's Viserai, we might not play this at all. Rousey Ancients is very good as well. Their equipment isn't amazing. I think Chokeslam is honestly just a little bit better. Just because they do play the Runic card. That makes it a little bit bigger. So we'll look at Viserai. So it is playing Sink Below. I think that is honestly kind of sketch. If I think that they're on combo, I will not play Sync Below. I think it's a liability. So in that case, I would play probably these 2 Colossal Bearings and then like a Hold the Line just to have some extra stuff. Just got here. How does the list plays into Prism? We're about to see if we can find it. We're gonna play into Prism. See if we can find one. And then the other thing is if you're playing against Vincent, I imagine the Vincent button is not much different. Yep, it is exactly the same. So that would be the difference. Is like this is the general replay pen, but if I think they're OTK, I might take out the Sync Belows and add these. Okay, enough talk. Let's play that. We'll save it to the list. Create a game. I was in private, so I'm not going to do that. Let's refresh. If this Bravo's still here, I kind of want to play him. Alright, that's fine. We can play Prism. Might as well. We're already here. Try this out. Now, I might be a little rusty. Might be just a tad bit rusty, so don't make fun of me too much. I want to see their Prism board plan just in case, so we're definitely playing all of those. Chokeslam, Crush the Weak, all of that. Okay. Difference is Crush the Weak over Colossal Bearing because of... yeah, that's standard. I guess we can do balance. I think that's fine too. So let's do that. Submit. Okay, looking at this opening hand, there's not a whole lot that I particularly want to do with this. I think it's pretty safe to just go ahead and pitch this Debilitate to make a surge. And they are playing the Dreamweavers, that's pretty standard. And then we're going to pass priority. If they play an Aura, then we will do something about that. And then they didn't play an Aura, so I'm just going to Arsenal this Debilitate, just in case they do something else and we can play that off of too. Okay, so we have 2 poppers. So we'll go ahead and throw Starstruck in front because we want to Arsenal this, kind of have a replacement. Have a Blitz Armory later. Do you think this would work in Blitz as well? I do. I think this list would probably be pretty solid in Blitz. Okay, so because... oh, double Tome of Divinity turn. What an interesting hand. Okay, so obviously we're going to have to pop this one as well. There's no reason to give them value off of their Prism hero ability to get a Figment, right? And then we can just play the Debilitate off of the Surge and we can Arsenal this Terror. Make it fun if you like guy in. Make fun of you a lot, got it. Yep. You can make fun of me as much as you want. I have thick skin. KO gonna be nuts in Blitz with that chest? Yes. That chest is very scary. Like, I'm convinced it's probably just gonna be the chest that they run from now on, but the Tunic is really good still. Like, nothing wrong with Tunic. Okay, so we have a Pierce Reality. I'm not crazy about this card. I'm not crazy about it being in play, because they could, if they draw like an Erudition, Dreamweavers, and then we'll have to give our armor. But we have armor to give, so I'm pretty happy just doing that. We can even Terra Sunder and then heed this Thunderquake to play something else following up. This is one of the lower priority auras, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. They ALS me. We're going to attack you, obviously. Now, if they drew a Soul Shield on turn 2, that would have been very strong for this situation. Okay, Colossal Bearing, I see the benefit of it. The fact that you can get their Vestige of Soul. That's a lot better than what I decided to do, looking at it. So, live and learn, but I think my argument for the Crush the Weak and the Time Skippers was good. I think it was good enough, right? It wasn't crazy. But Colossal Bearing is way better, for sure. Alright, so they are either... Okay, they're full taking the hit, discarding 2 cards. Probably play another aura if it's an aura that we care about. Of course, we're going to lose the value off this Thunderquake. Which is fine. Like, it is what it is. Okay, they discarded the Celestial Cataclysm. If we get to an in-game state, we know we only have to play around 2 of those. Okay, we got our first aura. So we have 1 pair. This is kind of scary. Because it's going to be coming in for 8. If this card is the one that debuffs our... Well, they can't debuff our popper at all, actually. So our next turn is going to be, I think, just make a Surge Overpitch, play Thunderquake. Time skippers are needed to break the loop, for sure. I've been playing Victor more so lately. I know, Bravo fam, I'm sorry. But I've been playing more Victor because he just has like more polarizing matchups, which is generally a better thing. Oh, I took 5 there. Why did I take 5? Oh, he played a Celestial Rapid Man. That's fair. I couldn't do anything to stop that. That's not a big deal to me. So again, we're going to do this. We're going to play our Thunderquake just at their face. So it was that card that I was talking about, the Reprimand. They're playing the red ones, notably. So the yellow ones are the more common ones, so I don't usually play around the red ones. So we just kind of got. Okay, getting rid of the Rebirth. It might be time to flip a Figment. They have 2 soul. We can sink below the Angels. More reason to play sink below, actually. That's good for that, for a full coverage. Tome of Divinity. Why are we toming here? Oh, because of the... Yeah, so breaking the chain, toming now. So early tomes usually are not the way to go against Guardian. You'll make your life a lot harder. Still passing priority. Sink below is going to be great. Okay, so we have a couple of attacks on the bottom, so I'm going to go Rouse the Ancients first. Okay. They didn't respond to the Surge. But I don't particularly want to give them a window, but I'm going to assume that they would have responded to the Surge if it was a situation where they could play ALS. So we're going to pitch this Crash down and then just play this Crippling Crush onto their face. Their deck blocks very poorly. So generally they will just play out an aura and will leak a bunch of damage. Their other 2 Tome of Divinities are they were on the bottom of the deck, but we got to remember that they shuffled to get the Figment, so they could be anywhere at this point. Okay, so we have red aura on the bottom. I'm going to put 2 blues in the middle of that. Tome of Findle. Okay, gaining a couple of life. Maybe play an aura. Quite strong. Okay. So again, I'm going to assume that if they could play it, they would play it. And then we're going to keep Terra Sunding. If they do it now, that's like really annoying. Ah, they did it now. All right. But that's okay. That's okay. There's like no huge downside to it besides the fact that they're saving a bunch of life. Because their next turn, they literally can't do anything. So again, we have red, red, blue. So we're going to go blue, blue, red. And we're going to go blue, blue, red. Okay. Now I'm going to play... I'm going to make another Surge. If they ALS me again, so be it. Then I'm going to play this onto their face. I'm going to keep the bigger popper in case they have more reprimands. Again, they usually play the yellows, so the 8 poppers are really, really good against them. And just keeping one of those, you don't really have to play around doing like a double block or anything like that. Yeah, we got them down to 12. They took all of it. Yeah. Okay. More auras. Okay, it's more book time. Book time. All right, what spiciness are they getting this time? It's not Figment of Ravages. We know that. Okay, they're going ahead and getting the Herald of Rebirth. They are not getting the Herald of Rebirth. They are haloing again. Same thing. So they want a different Figment. Probably the Protection. Protection one is usually the better. Figment of War is also very good. The flip side of this is very annoying. Okay, we are awakening probably Erudition. These are all instant speeds, by the way, so this is helpful to them. I'm gonna go ahead and burn this sink below because it like actually doesn't do anything. And because we're in a situation like this, I think I'm going to... If I arsenal this, it'll get stuck in my arsenal for a long time. They have 1 ALS, they have 2 more. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. Okay, another sink below, I don't hate that. Okay, unfortunately, I'm going to have to kill the Genesis. Because the Genesis is the more important combo-esque piece. Generally, I want to kill Soraya, but this turns on their Vestiges of Soul, so I think we just have to kind of do that. We're in a position to where making surges is detrimental. So now we're just going to do this. We're going to arsenal this sink below, kind of play defense and board control for a little bit. They have to go off at this stage anyway, because they are so low. They could probably have one more turn if they really wanted to wait to try to stabilize, but it's pretty rough. Pretty rough for them. Okay, so in this situation, I think I'm okay with leaking 1 damage. Keeping the sink below just in case they try to do some big Dreamweavers play, because if they go Erudition or something crazy, that's a problem. So we want the armor, that, and then this to be able to stop like a Reprimand or something. Or, again, the Dreamweaver. So here it is. We knew that was coming. Okay, so this one is coming in for 9. 9 damage. So, mathematically, we can give Hat, block, and then give sink below. And I'm going to keep my hand just as is. Because we have some good poppers. We have a blue. Pretty happy with that. Okay, they would make another aura if this hits. They would make another Pierce Reality, which is very frustrating. Is that trade worth it for me? They don't have Dreamweavers anymore. They could have more Celestial Reprimands. We saw Light of Soul again pop up. You haven't seen very many more. So, if I give them another Pierce... I'm attacking Soraya regardless next turn. So they're just going to generate value off of that. They can play another aura from their hand, actually. So that's kind of problematic. 27. These, I don't want to arsenal these cards is why I'm kind of tanking on this. It's a pretty big downside if they drop a Genesis. I'm gonna take this just because they have the hand. Okay, so they have no soul. Soraya doesn't really do anything. Except attack, obviously. They can't generate soul unless they have a merciful. I have Norrin to be able to pay. Soraya is the problem card, though. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Soraya. And we're going to hold the Thunderquake. Just skip Arsenal, because we want the big popper. Okay, now we need the blue. So that's good. Good that we kept that. It's going to be boring for a little bit, guys. Sorry. So we're going to get the big popper just in case they have another reprimand. Yep. So they're going to pay. Tome of Divinity is the other one. Going to gain some life back. Okay. I really don't like these auras. Like, they are just so... They give so much window of opportunity for the opponent that, like, you just can't really do anything with them. They're mainly there for blocks. I don't want to play this. I think I would rather Arsenal this for a time skipper's play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to overpitch and just attack the Pierce. Because we don't have anything that's, like, super crazy going on. Okay, plenty of poppers. We love poppers. This one gives shields. So I think I'll just chill out yet again. We'll block with this because we have another, like, pretty decent play. Footsteps. They play another one. Usually it's like an aura drop. If it's an aura we don't care about. Passing Mirage. That one we do kind of care about. Again. So... keep our poppers, kind of dwindle them down, maybe. Not going to play the Arsenal. Let's go ahead and get rid of the passing. This is the stage of the game where I'm not, like... I don't have a ton of fun, for obvious reasons. Okay, they could have been holding this for a little while. Waiting for a reprimand situation. And then they'll be able to get another Figment if that's the case, and awaken the Figment if they so choose. We can also use the balance to kind of pop that. We could also just play around it and block with the tech plating and the buckle, which I'm not a big fan of. I think it's just better to say if you got it, you got it, because this is the first erudition that we've seen. So it's likely that they could have just drawn it. Okay, it is a retribution. So this will go to Soul. We'll go ahead and pay with this because we don't have a way to really do anything. The music has gone to dubstep. This is what happens when they erudition. Just the dubstep goes crazy. Okay, so they got a Figment of Protection. Makes sense. I think it's still just playing this aura control plan that we don't really have any benefit to doing anything here. It's not like anything super important. So we're going to pitch this. We're going to pay for the Merciful. Now, one interesting thing to talk about with Prism is if they do combo you and they play a Merciful and they try to ALS loop, if you sit around on the Merciful and kill that last, they can't actually loop you. So whenever they do finally flip their rebirth, you just kind of like can beat it, right? You just kill it, and then like what are they gonna do? Alright. So they have a ton of Figments. They don't have a lot going on. Yeah, they're just passing. It's sick. Okay, we're going to pitch obviously one of these blues. We're just going to kill the Arclight because we have to. And then I think we'll keep the Spinal. There's no reason to overpitch here. I'm thinking about keeping the Macho as well. But Macho is a pretty good game ender, so I'm pretty happy sending that to the bottom. We also have a Rousey Ancients on the bottom, so mixing that with that would be pretty important. So let's go ahead and pitch that for that decision. Yeah, that's right. Invoke Soraya. Okay, this one isn't as common either. Okay, whenever it attacks, you may banish the light card from your hero's soul. If you do, it deals 1 arcane damage to any target. Whenever it deals damage, you gain that much. This card's pretty cool. I don't usually see this one. So they did get rid of it. Deals damage, you gain that much. So they just gain life anyway. What are we doing next? So they have Go Again with this. We're killing the Soraya for sure. So we only need to keep 1 card and 1 potential popper. So I think if we... Oh, they gotta go. They gotta go. This was a pretty good game, but effectively what would happen is I would just kill the Soraya. We would go do this back and forth thing for a little while, and the longevity of it would be I would be able to clear everything because they don't have as many tomes. They would try to do some ALS loop. I have the insurance for that in the pocket. Right, so we're good to go. Alright, let me reset my my stream wins. I do believe I would win that game, just the way that it was progressing. They weren't able to get some huge like blowout turn. But yeah, that's kind of how you gotta play that. You can play like early auras, but I think later the auras are trash. Like, you don't want those. Okay, we'll just do a public request. Let somebody join me. Not Victor. Not Victor. But I do like the Colossal Bearings. I think that's actually really good into Prism. Now that I read the card and remembered that Visage was a very important thing for them. It's just like the card, it's an 8 too, which is a good popper against the reprimands. Okay, so we are AB3. So we want to go second. Right? Because they can do whatever, we can pay, and then we attack and whatever. Okay, so Kano, let's see if this Spellfray Cloak is going to do anything. Okay, so we have this already made. We don't want D-Reacts, we don't want Pulverize, we don't want these extra blues that are not doing anything, and then these are low attacks, so we're just going to do the thing. Submit. Make it happen. Alright, we have our turn 1 aura. We love turn 1 aura. I'm going to turn this off. We don't need that right now. Are they pitch stacking? Kind of. Kind of pitch stack. Alright, so we're going to do Earthlore Empowerment. We're going to keep a blue. We don't want this Terra Sunder. It doesn't really do a whole lot. I guess we can Arsenal this Spinal. It is just a big numbie. So we kind of want that. We'll keep the blue in hand. We'll call it there. Another thing too is the Gogan cards against Kano are really, really strong. So we can Arsenal this. What did they pitch? I gotta see that. Aether Wildfire with their Blazing, so they are pitch stacking here. Okay, so I'm not super uber concerned about just dying randomly. We also don't have Pummel. Not that they would know that, but that is... Okay, they're on yellow Sink Below. This is a list that's been going around for a little bit. Just trying to get to their pitch stack, so they're bottoming a lot of stuff. Okay, they just had the whole shebang, right? Okay, we're gonna arsenal this crash down for obvious reasons. Let's just play it. They have a bunch of D-reacts, like, doesn't really do anything for them. We might as well arsenal the cranial, because it is the biggest thing. Okay, so let's plan our turn real quick. So we have cranial, we can play Rouse the Ancients, and then not play the cranial, so that's not very good. We can also play Spinal, have the cranial. So really this Rouse the Ancients is kind of gumming up the hand. We want this in Arsenal. It's very good. This is a very key card to this. So what I'm kind of leaning towards, if we pitch this Spinal, then what comes next? I don't think a lot comes next. Okay. Cool. So now we get to play this. This turns off their tomes. Another D-react in the brink. Okay, it's a Oasis this time. Alright, we have done factually nothing. So I'm going to arsenal this. We can Rouse the Ancients now. And even play the Earth Lord afterwards. How crazy is that? I'm not dominating enough. That's a big problem right now. We got to start doing the dominate thing. Now we're missing on Anathos damage if we don't attack with it. Okay, another D-react, sure. But I really just want to get this out and send something giant. Okay, this is good. Tome, drawing for tome. Draw. Kano. Sonic Boom, Tome, Aether Flare. Okay, so they have a defense reaction in hand, it looks like. So now we can dominate. We get to arsenal this rousing, so we get to play this cranial. First dominate of the game. Remember, you do have keywords sometimes. We're going to play this, because it's fucking giant. So this one is 13 dominate. This is why we play this deck, right? This is why we play it. Because of 13 dominate. Big damage. What are you going to do with all those D-reacts, buddy? Aether Spindle from hand. Watch, they're going to like Oasis me and I'm going to cry a little bit. Oh, I did all this work, and for what? This list is like surprisingly probably okay against this like D-react pitch stacking deck. Okay, yeah, we are getting Oasis, but it's not a D-react in Arsenal, so that is good. Now that's a lot of damage. Alright. Mathematics. So, rouse the Ancients, and then we can debilitate afterwards, which is fine. Yeah, it's fine. I actually think I want to arsenal the crippling, though. So, we're going to do this. We're going to pitch this. I'm going to reveal the two things. And honestly, we're just going to overpitch for the hammer, I think. And arsenal this just to get max value out of her hand. Like, I want this. I want to dominate it. We're starting to run out of windows for sending big numbies before they kill us back. Okay. Boom, boom. There. Okay, luckily we did the thing. So we can dominate. It is turn 9, 36 cards. Once they get to 20-ish, that's when we got to be a little bit more concerned. But they have been sync blowing a lot. I don't think they're quite there yet. So this is fine. Just to go ahead and send the stuff. We got one spell fray. Watch out. Okay, dereact from Arsenal. Nope. Oh, are they going? No, there's no shot, right? They're just getting some damage out because they can. Alright, more blues, more trash. Oh, it's a dereact on top. Haha, got him. Yep. So they're just conserving their hand here, just taking a ton of damage. So we went red, blue, blue. So we can go yellow, blue, blue, red. Now, if this is played from Arsenal, our next thing gets plus. They're playing Tome. Drew a bunch of cards. Pitch stacking a little bit more. That's fine. We Warmongers. Just kidding. We don't do that. But we will play Earthlore, pitching this Warmongers. And then we'll Arsenal the Smashing Good Time to get the extra super duper Giga Chad value. Okay, so probably another dereact with some like trash card on top since he didn't actually flip the card. Just digging, digging, digging. Dig, dig, dig. Okay, so mathematically we can play... We have 2 floating if we do it that way. Actually, 3 floating. Okay, so we'll pitch this card first. We don't need that. And then we'll play this. And then we'll play this. And then we have 1 more card available for our arsenal. 15! That's your life total, brother. Oh, baby, that's a macho for what, 16? Nah, we got 15 dominate. That says get rid of your arsenal, nerd. If it's another tome, this is like super gas value, right? Ah, it's another direct. That's fine. But we get the blow with their potion, which is pretty cool. Bam. Oh no, they had another one. That's fine. Honestly, big number, not as important. Arsenal, this one, more important. So if we tear asunder, how many dereacts have they used? They've used all the yellows, all the reds. They likely have another Oasis ready to go. So this value isn't significant. I'm pretty sure they're like basically at pitch stack, so it's a little sketch to play this. But man, this is tough. 1 AB versus 0 AB isn't that big of a difference. I think it's honestly probably correct to do this. I'm not 100% though. If I knew exactly where their cards were, this would be a difference. But I think they have Oasis, which is the reason I'm playing this. And a Favor Scene. So that would be a full coverage on the Anothos anyway. Another potion. We can do it all. Honestly, I'm going to crash down and then heave this Thunderquake. I think that's probably the best. Some pass priority. Heave. Nice. Okay, we are going to pay for this because we would be idiotic not to. So, thinking about our next turn, we can dominate this Thunderquake, which would present them having to have it. Like, they gotta have it. Right now, they're probably tracking where their cards are and how many cards they have on bottom to figure out what's going on. Prognosticate does nothing. If it deals 1 more damage, that's fine. You can have that. Okay, getting rid of fire. So then, okay, so this is likely their blazing turn. So I'm going to turn this on. Because, yeah, things are about to happen. Alright, so we're going to dominate. I'm going to play this. Because we have surges, we have 2 AB, we can do 3. That's all we got, though. Okay, so there's their blazing. There's their wildfire. Yep. Tome, potion. Blue. So we knew about that. Tome. This is what makes Kano like kind of cool. The fact that you can do this kind of stuff. Another blazing. Yeah, so we're like super dead, right? And they earned this. There's no animosity towards this. Like they did it. It's when they do it first cycle that's when it's annoying. But like this, yeah, I mean they played to it. This is good for them. We are getting fucking destroyed. Oh my god. This pitch stack's insane. Nodes. Yeah, we're gonna AB too. That's right. Gotcha. Alright. We're gonna see how negative this goes. Lord, have mercy. Yep, can't do that. If I had another blue, I still wouldn't survive. But, yeah, whatever. Okay, so they're probably just drawing another blue. Yeah. Oh, it's Tome. Had insult to injury. Yup. 42. Negative 36. Okay, that was a good game. I think I played it a little bit looser than I should have. Well, not really loose. I needed to dominate more. That was the big thing. Is the dominate is important. Like, early dominates would have been better than me just sending, like, random shit, right? Like, pair your aura with your big attack. Make sure it is dominated. That was not a win. I need to take that back. Okay, Riptide. So I go first against Riptide. Generally, this is just the stock stuff that you do. I like to play Sink Below. I like to play the big attacks. I don't... Okay, never mind. We can keep talking about it, though. The pumps are bad. Just anything general is kind of where we want to be here, right? Like, just playing these... I think this is a local. Okay, so against Brute, we're going to do our thing. No Colossal Bearings, doesn't really do anything. Crestloot doesn't do anything. Rouse the Ancients, whatever. Okay, so hats, tech, all the normal stuff. Tin Man. Okay, so we got a Savage Sash. So if you guys haven't seen this card, I haven't played against it myself, but you destroy this, attack action cards with 6 or more power, cost 1 less to play during your turn. So you pair this with like a Blood Rush Fellow, and you go big zoomies. Okay, so we just have a good hand, so I'm going to play it. Dominate Starstruck, make you very annoyed. Oh yeah, we're getting armor value early, but they have more armor than they ever have, so it's like whatever. Oh, we can crippling this too? I like super greed, want to just like play the crippling and blow them up. Dominate crippling, so they could give another 7 from their hand. If they give scowling, they could cover up the on hit. If they don't do anything really relevant, I'm probably just going to take this damage. 10 minutes evil. I forgot his name though. Might be 10. No, his name's Austin. Yeah, big cockers, no blockers. That's right. Oh, we're zooming. But like these have been the worst matchups for Bravo Oro. I mean, probably, but like still pretty good, right? Like I felt comfortable in pretty much all of it, which is pretty sick. Remembrance. Interesting. So because they don't have an agility, I'm not super duper concerned about what they can do in response. So I think it's time to crash down. Wondering why you gave 2 armor pieces rather than just skins. He has 6 attack. It's because if you're talking about the first attack, like he wouldn't be able to play, or no, he would be able to play even with the crush. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so they do have the go again zoomies. If I give them Quicken token, this is bad. So I don't necessarily want this crash down. We have a crash down here. We want to benefit off that crash down. We can play Crippling Crush, or we can play Debilitate. Either one is very strong. I will likely have to block another attack, I think, just to maintain like a proper threshold. And then we can Crippling Crush the following turn. They could still get rid of some things if that is the case. But we're for sure blocking with a crash down. So we'll go ahead and do this. Depending on what their follow-up thing is, we could block with the steps. Okay, so they're trying to get some more value. That's a pretty good Scabskins roll there, in my opinion. Okay. This is a little annoying, but honestly respectable. I'm almost considering just giving the armor for the exact value block and then just sending the crippling again. I think that's probably correct. Crash down time, baby. Oh, 17! Oh my god! Ugh, damage. Holy moly. And they discarded one of their thingies. Okay, here we can just play Debilitate with a Terrace Under. I think that's probably correct. We lose an Arsenal, but that's okay. Because if they want to stop this, they have to give us the hat as well, which is kind of good for us. The hat isn't as good in this matchup, to be completely honest. Because we don't have the pummels or anything like that. This deck is really fun. I'm enjoying this. Okay, so now, honestly, it might just be time to, because we have a sink below. I want to Arsenal sink below, but we could probably get away with arsenaling this Pulverize and heaving it, with them being at 15 because we're ahead. They have 5 mites, which is kind of problematic. They have a sink below that they can play, or not a sink below, a CNC that they play that makes this Arsenal a little bit worse. Yeah, I'm kind of like thinking Swing Hammer as well. And it is likely that he probably has a Blood Rush. I don't know. My Guardian P-Ray wants that Pulverize so bad. The hand is really good for Blood Rush, though. Oh. In agility, thank you. So I revealed a Chokeslam, he revealed a Blood Rush Bellows. Just bottom like that. Holy moly, defense. Please Blood Rush me. He does not have it, turns out. Okay. he just said GG. Let's undo. Okay. We can rematch though, so just see what happens. Yeah, that was rough. He rolled a 1, so he didn't want to do his thing. But I'm gonna make sure the cards are right. These are the cards that we take out. Yep, makes sense. I had hammer for 4. Oh man. Yeah, so that was a good good first game against Brute with this deck, right? Right? Hopefully they all go that way. Okay, we can do a dominate thing. We don't want to arsenal anything but the Spinal, so we just send it. Zoom in. Okay, so they don't care about not having go again. That's fair. Okay, so they have an Assbat. This hand doesn't particularly do anything. If we get rid of this Sink Below, we could Anathos, but then they have their armor, so like who cares, right? I think it's probably more advantageous to just go ahead and we'll get rid of the Terra Sunder. So we're going to block with this. Play the Sink Below, sinking the Terra Sunder. If we get like an aura, that's great. If we don't, then we'll just hammer. And arsenal either the Hold the Line or the red or yellow. In this case, that would draw. Okay, so it's just going to be a hammer for 4. I was hoping, honestly, to draw blue versus, like, if this was a red, that's great. If it was a blue, that's also great, because we can hammer. I can arsenal the Hold Line, and then have a little bit to counter a Blood Rush Bellow turns on the following turn, but must really like his hand. This card is so crazy. It's so crazy. Okay, Runner is quite strong. So he already has Go Again. There's no reason to give a Civic Steps here. If he plays another Go Again, I can give it on that. This hand doesn't particularly do anything that is that amazing. I think I just give this. I'll probably try to go Tech Plating into Hammer, so I can give another card. Taking 4 here, just a leak. Just in case they decide to, like, play a Cast Bones or something. Like, we get a little bit of value out of our hand, and we can still have a play. Okay, all reds. All reds, he says. Alright, so we're not going to take damage to send 10. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Not to me. Alright, so Surge time, baby. Then we can play 2-card Starstruck. Yeah. They don't care about Hammer. They never do. Ooh, we gotta hold the line. For their big numbies turn. Runner, so this one is going to be a 9, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's an 8. They didn't have a might. So I'll block here. We'll go ahead and block with the pulverize as well. It's not doing a whole lot. Following, we can block with this hold the line. We can also draw a card off the balance, depending on whether or not we want to play this Starstruck. But we do want to go ahead and use this hold line, I believe. So we can go ahead and crack this to see what we get. Okay, another blue. That's good. We like blues. Block for 5. Flash of agility for 8. So taking 8 here would put me at 25. It would be semi-reasonable on like life totals to each other. So if I block with 1, go to 28, I can play Debilitate, have Starstruck later. This is better later, or this will be better in Arsenal later. So I think I will go ahead and take, because we have this Surge, this is going to brick for a while, whereas this is easier to play. That's kind of where I'm leaning. They have an agility and a might too, so depending on how they want to block, yeah, it's very likely that they give Scapskins an Apex here. I kind of expected that. They don't get the extra might off of the Apex though, because they blocked with a 5. It counts it towards base attack, not ability attack. So this is fine. They're not going to do anything with this, it looks like. So I think the following turn, what I'm going to need to do is I can give this, and I'm just going to make a Surge off of the Crippling and keep that for second cycle, if it does get to that. And then we can keep the Quicken token. Yeah, I like that a lot. So there's an argument to blocking with this too, because we're probably never going to get to a position where we actually get to play it. But I'll keep it just because it's our specialization card. Yeah, it looks cool. Alright, so we're going to make a Surge. They don't have a agility, so there's not a lot of urgency to doing anything specific. Okay, well. Neato Burrito. Yeah, got me. So I was hoping to go like 8 and a 6, which is a really good rate. We're not going to give a Quicken token to this. We're just having a hard time, because they have so many cards, we don't have like a really good window to civic stuff. So if we give them a Quicken here, they'll get another attack in, and then a Mandible Claw most likely. So what does our next turn look like? It's probably just going to be Debilitate. And just waste the Quicken, just because they did get their Blood Rush. So we want to conserve here. Now, one thing that we could have done is play the Crashdown, play this, but we're going to be leaking way too much damage for that to matter. Okay. Okay, we expected this. We know Go Again is... So we can give Civic Steps here, I believe, because they want to give another attack. What I'm trying to kind of play around is a CNC. But I don't think that they're likely to play a CNC off of their 2-card hand. This also... This might be a mistake, but I'm going to commit. Giving them a Quicken token. Okay, yeah. So they already... This is a fine Quicken token, actually. Because they're already getting an agility from that. The way that they like pitched as well, it kind of does make sense that it would probably be a Cast Bones or something along those nature. But yeah. So that was a good block too. I was considering keeping the card. But if I had kept the card, then we would have a dead card in hand. It'd be a dead arsenal. Okay, so we got the Savage Sash. Already getting major value out of that thing. They're going to be taking 3, whole bunch of might tokens. We're going to be hurting. Hey, look, our whole hand blocks. Because we're not doing anything else. So I'm going to be leaking a good amount. They could play another 6, so it's likely a 21 damage turn. We're taking 3 here, 20, and then another 6 would be the 14. So we'll be at a life deficit of 3. Okay, so that's honestly best case scenario for us. Only taking 3, we're at a stable life total. They have full tempo though. Wild Ride. I think it's almost at this position where we need to go ahead and try to send something back. Because if they give all of this armor, plus they can stop the spinal. So I'm leaning towards blocking here and here. Keeping this. Depending on what they do afterwards, we can play the spinal. If they attack again, I think I'm going to block with a couple of cards and maybe Arsenal Spinal or something, just because they have a pretty clean cover up here. But because they have the go again, they want to send another attack. Or play a Cast Bones, which would be annoying. Okay. If this is Cast Bones, that's pretty strong. Wood already had go again, so it's not like a big difference. I still think it's probably correct to block here. Even though we can't play the spinal. Because we can still send 6. It's the same damage regardless. If we kept the card, couldn't we hammer and get double value off of it? Yeah, he had the flashback too, so getting the quicken doesn't really do a whole lot there. I would have to keep like the whole hand and then hope that he hits the red, right? So now we're just setting up a surge, conserving life total. If we played the spinal, it would be the same difference. Like overall turn cycle wise. Spinal is like the worst math for that reason, but it's on his is extremely good when they do finally run out of the armor. Now we have a surge, we can play this. Okay, cool. So we're gonna make a surge, we're gonna dominate, we're gonna play a choke slam. Sometimes you just need your brute opponent to roll a 1, you know. So they could pretty cleanly block here. But I mean, this is the most we can do in this turn cycle anyway, considering that we were given the whole hand. So if I had to guess, it'll be a Scab Skins plus the Apex. With a 6, specifically a 6. So they can get the Might token and get kind of like a dual value out of it. Want an Arsenal Spinal here. I could have Arsenal Spinal, but I was more... I valued the Surge and the turn cycle math more than I valued the Spinal being an Arsenal. And drawing a D-React to put in Arsenal is way higher value. Especially when they have a couple of more Cast Bones and then 1 more Blood Rush Villain. And Spinal just wouldn't do anything. Like... The only way Spinal does anything is on the back of an aura in this deck, because we don't have Pummel. So, like, it literally just does nothing. But leak 3 damage, and the hammer also leaked 3 damage, so. Okay, so this is what I expected, like I said. So, he's taking 3, we're going to Arsenal... send packing. What an annoying fellow. Okay, so now Flesh Bag, Savage Feast, Spinal still does nothing. It's probably better to just send the Starstruck, just because it does require more cards from the opponent. And we want to keep the sink below, obviously, so we're going to block like this. If you pummel me, you pummel me. Okay, yeah. So we got that back. We're just going to send the bigger number, because they can't cleanly block it, like I said. It makes it to where their claw can't attack. That's the big thing. Okay, so we're getting more cards than I expected. No, this is about the same. Sure. Honestly, I only expected them to go, like, block 2 cards and maybe even keep the scaling. Because it just, all that does is say, like, I can't use claw. Oh no. Right. Yeah, same thing here. They can keep another card. Don't care about claw. Send attack, attack. Now they do care about claw if it's a blood rush. That's the only difference. So this kind of like makes it to where it will make their blood rush turn a little bit like lackluster, right? My sink pillow! No! Okay, it is a blood rush. Interesting. What is this? Play this only if you discarded a 6 or more this turn? I mean, it's pretty solid. It's a 1 for 5. Holy D-Reacts, Batman. It's pretty bad. It has go again. So I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to hope to, like, get something better, I guess. So I can hold the line and sink below? It's kind of hot. I'm going to keep this, just Sim 4. It's honestly not bad. Hold the line. Sick nasty, bro. 4. Oh, baby. I got a mic token. Yeah. If I had a CNC, that'd be super cool. Okay, more D-Reacts is coming in for 6. Beast Within, drawing a card. Okay, that means they have another attack on the back burner, most likely. Here, they can arsenal... They discarded Beast Within, so they got a little lucky there. So, wait. I'm losing my mind. So, we clashed. They revealed Reckless. They Beast Within. They banish. What happened to the... Why is it not here? Am I crazy? What am I missing? Regardless, I want to keep this Macho. I think. No, I don't have a Surge, so that's not as amazing. He drew it off. Oh. He drew it off Wild Ride. And then he got the lucky discard. So, okay. So 6, Wild Ride, Claw. I go to 4. Don't die. I'm going to take this. I just want to keep this Macho to end the game. Because the longer the game goes, the more likely I'm going to die. If he sends another 6, it's also free. Right? Unless he has another Reckless Swing that he draws up next. Draw, then discard. Yep, you're right. You're right. I always, like, mix it up. It's like, I thought it was discard, then draw. Okay, so he has the Reckless Swing. We're just going to give the armor. Just, conserve a little bit of life total. Stay at 5 if, for whatever reason, this doesn't kill. 9, dominate. What was this card? It was a reckless swing. So he had a way to stop it. Yeah, weird. Okay. Because it was reckless swing. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he could have lived, for sure. So, like, blocks, pays. Let's look at this. So, red, yellow, yellow, yellow. So, red, yellow, yellow, yellow. They had to pay, do a discard. So they block, discard. So they have 2 cards in hand. So it would be a block here. Well, you can't play any of the cards. That's the problem. Right, so all they were going to do next turn is swing 4, and then the next cards that I have available, I would give 1 card, probably, send something back, or make a Surge Arsenal, debilitate, send some damage. They would be at 2, which means that they are required to give 2 cards for the hammer, so they're just kind of like locked out. So the writing was on the wall. Okay, let's try to get another game. I'm just gonna do another public. But I think that was a good showcase match for the deck. I actually think this deck is like not terrible. Hold the Line is just a really good card. I think I'm gonna start playing that card in like most of my decks because Brute is so annoying. Okay, so we're doing Brute again. Now, Labaya is less consistent than KO, but has a higher ceiling, which is pretty cool. Okay, I think the best thing we can just do is play an Earth Lore. Then we'll Arsenal the Starstruck. We haven't played a single Imposing to go get any of these like cool auras yet. We also don't want to attack them turn 1 because it fills their graveyard and they have to have that. Hold the Line is amazing. It's so good. It's so good. Blood Rush, fellas. No, I pitched to Hold the Line. You son of a gun. Okay, so block. I have Surge, so I can play this. I want to keep a little bit. Here you go. Don't need Showtime. Showtime does nothing. Okay, depending on how they pitch, I'm happy to give Civic Steps on this next attack with the likelihood that they will not be able to utilize the Quicken token to the fullest advantage because it is a Blood Rush turn, so they want to get the most value out. So they either have to trade 2 damage to keep it go again or play an attack and get the value off of that. I'm going to go ahead and do this just because I can get a little more value out of the blocks. There's the Imposing. So they have to play an attack, right? Like, they have to. Okay, they're not. So we conserved damage, cards, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I'm pretty happy with that. I also get to dominate this because I don't particularly want these cards. So they valued the Quicken pretty highly. Now they have to give us Carrion Husk if they want to do like literally shit for shat. Yeah. And then a card. They have to give... Well, they don't have to give a card actually. Because they have all 6s. But they can't claw me. Surprised he still has chests. You surprised that they're playing Carrion Husk still? I mean, that's... I don't know. I've heard people say that they're probably just going to replace it entirely. I don't like that. I don't. I really don't. I like the Carrion Husk a lot. I think there's a lot of value in being able to do a damage pivot. Okay, good Boneyard Marauder. I'm going to give Steps again because, you know, they're attacking me. Honestly, I think I should give one other card just in case their attack is, or Or their line is to just not attack again. Which they should attack. I guess I give them an extra claw, which is the downside, but that's fine. That was probably a bad civics. Yeah, that was a bad civics. Yeah, I like Husk a lot. Okay, we're just gonna send the 4/8. That's what our deck does. That's what Guardian does best, is every other turn send a 2-card 8. One card 4s and 2-card 8s. Every turn. Okay, so we're getting a Writhing, probably another card. Okay, we're getting that. So their buff... This buff doesn't do anything? Okay, they realized. I would imagine just another card. Okay, they just don't care. Fair. Okay, hold the line. Smash back Elhorn. Sure. Swing dig. What's the line here? Because they have a smashback, they could be playing towards more of a Blood Rush turn. So the best value for me, I can get 10 value out of this in Arsenal and just hold on to this for a little bit. Or I could dominate. So if I dominate, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 block for them, so it wouldn't affect their turn at all. So I'm gonna just give these 2 cards. I'm not gonna get any value out of the seismic, so I'm just gonna swing. This should leak. They shouldn't care about this at all. And this will probably be the last game, guys. Appreciate everybody hanging out for so long. This deck is really cool. I'll post this in the Discord as well. If anybody wants to play it, try it out. It's just a good time. Like playing these auras and sending a big attack just does something for me. Makes my little brain happy, my smooth brain. I need to get some hold the lines. I don't have foils. My entire like Guardian deck is foils, so I gotta get foils of those, and I know they're expensive. They're expensive now. It's really annoying. Okay, so they're beating chest, getting rid of a card, playing Writhing Beast Hulk. It's quite good. Quite good. So I at this stage, I think I'm gonna burn this hold the line, as weird as that looks, because I want to arsenal this Crippling Crush and make a surge for the following turn, because they are like literally out of armor. So depending on their follow-up, I can also just give a card too, actually. But I'm gonna give this hold the line, even though like we're only getting 2 block out of it. You just sold your foils. Ah, yeah. Well, you should have sold them to me. It's just such a good card in this meta, with all these Blood Rush Bellows and bullshit. It's also like pretty decent against Ninja. Okay, so there's a Blood Rush. So they're using their card. I'm willing to take damage here, just because I want to set up that surge to be able to play this crippling. This isn't going to do a whole lot. It makes it to where the hands are more flexible by making the surge. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, I'm super happy with this. Especially if I'm getting 2 cards out of them. Oh, yeah. Super strong. Okay, blues. I got blues. Yay! I'm getting a little overzealous with taking a bunch of damage, though. So there is a line where I go to 17, I send crippling back. They can't stop the crippling, so they take 4, go to 24. I'm 17 to 24. I have a debilitate, though. And then I can play that the following turn that does nothing. I think I just block with this because their following turn is going to be pretty crap. All right, hit them with the big number. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Math is correct. They can only block 7 unless they have specifically a reckless swing, and they just kind of cripple and crush themselves. So, okay, they're just full taking. Nice. Doomsday 2. Interesting. Hopefully that was their only blue. All right, we won. We won. That was their only blue. That's how it goes. Let's see what this is. Might give you guys another one. Constructed Viscerai or a Bravo. Damn. All right. Well, that'll be it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I have enjoyed this deck a lot. I think this deck is sick. So I'm going to go ahead and start posting this into the Discord. Feel free to go over there. Discord link should be in the description of this stream, as well as any affiliate links that we have from our sponsors, Magnolia Gaming, Dragon Shield, and fabric.tg. So head over there, check those things out. Magnolia does awesome pre-order stuff, and it's always super good prices and good shipping, and I think you get 10% off if you use our code. It's pretty good, so you guys should definitely check that out. Okay, let me find stream deck list. Where is that? Okay, I'm in the wrong Discord. That's why I can't see it. Stream deck lists. So hopefully I see some new faces in the welcome that you guys... You can ask me questions there. More than happy to help and talk and chat and just hang out in general. Love to see it. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed. So, gonna chill out for just a second. Kind of roll over here, answer some questions if anybody has questions. We'll kind of just do a little scroll by of this list. Spellfray Cloak. In hindsight, actually, I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. I don't think you need Small Hammer. I really don't. As much as I like Small Hammer, it's better if you're playing Tunic, for sure. But because you have tech plating in the deck all the time, I think this is pretty strong. So, shout out to Clads for the deck idea, as well as Kel McCreath. Both fantastic players. And I think they came up with something that's really fun and also not bad. It's pretty decent. I mean, it's still Guardian in this meta, but, you know. If you want to play a Guardian, I think this is the way you should do it. Something like this, or you can play something similar to my ProQuest list. This is kind of spicy. So I have the normal stuff here. I'm playing 2 Buckle. I'm playing no E-Strike, I'm playing Humbles, and I'm playing Buckling Blow. Because in my locals, we have a bunch of mech and tech blow and other crap. And you know what beats that? Buckling Blow. Oh, yeah. And then Humble is pretty decent against KO. One thing that at first I was like, people are playing Humble. That's weird. What's good about this? That hero loses all abilities until the end of turn. It's like, okay, they don't get a Might token. Who cares? Who cares? But there's other text on KO for those of you who are like me and are like, oh yeah, like that does nothing. Let's read them together. Attack action cards you own get +1 while they are in any zone other than the combat chain. That is the key line of text. They cannot Blood Rush Bellows reliably because they have so many 5s in their deck. They discarded 5. Oh, you're not doing anything that Blood Rush Bellow. So you can kind of just like get people with it, which is pretty funny. I'm also playing like Rampart and stuff like that. Rampart's really good. I have a gold one too, so I'm more inclined to use it. That's right. But for anybody who hasn't blocked with a Trounce, that is one of the most fun cards to just play in general in paper. You sit there, like, all right, we're getting it. We're ripping the Tard. Okay, yep, I win. Boom. Oh, you won. Bottom that one. Boom. Okay, here it is. Draw a card. Got a Might. Got a Vigor token. Man, it's so fun to do that, especially with your choke slams, your debilitates and whatnot. If you guys want to play this, I think it is quite strong as well. Zealous Belting is starting to fall out of favor for me a little bit. I think after the new card comes out, the new blue, I'll probably switch to just Small Hammer for a little while. This card here, Visit Goldmane Estate. I think this card is nuts. I think this card is really good. But enough about that. I hope you guys enjoyed. And we'll see you next time. Say hi to me in Discord, please. Bye-bye.